Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinox Television, live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. I am Babla Jonathan. In our top stories in this edition of the news, the European Union Parliament condemns gross human rights abuse and violations in the northwest and southwest regions of the country. And of course, the Parliament is calling on government to solve the problem as quick as possible. And also in this newscast, we shall be talking about the rising illegal business of human bones trafficking. Over 6 human bones traffickers have been arrested in the east region of the country. Stay with us. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on this edition of the news. We begin this newscast in Guti in the southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, and our correspondent Derek Jato takes a look at the devastating consequences of the deepening Anglophone crisis on that locality, indicating that it is a locality that has not had electricity or electric energy supply for quite a long period of time. Derek Jato has more.
After being deserted for a very long time, Ngoti, a subdivision in Kupe Maningoba division, is showing sign of life again.
They fine. What will they fine for we?
Ngoti was a very good place before the war came and chased people out. This woman says, and today people are coming back. She added.
And people then do the run, they come back.
But many Ngoti people are still hiding somewhere deep in this forest for fear of being killed. And Mr. Meke Ebersearch Michael Albert, divisional officer from Ngoti subdivision, knows this, reason why he is calling on those in the forest to come out.
Those who are in the bushes, let them know that this town, see how we are mixing with the military, we are mixing with the population. There is a nothing as war against here.
This place called Ngoti stands tall in the southwest region as a subdivision with well-planted electric poles and cabled, but has never seen electricity.
We had succeeded to procure 2 giant solar panels. These panels would have been connected, but for this crisis, any time from now, the solar panel will be connected.
Today, these Ngoti people say they have been remembered at Easter by Mr. Oki Johnson Doe, an elite of the subdivision.
Brother don't say we chop, so we can chop for the Easter. So we're glad plenty.
Our brother has sent us gifts to celebrate Easter, and we are very happy and thank him to continue with that spirit. And present was Mr. Meke Ebersearch Michael Albert, the divisional officer from Ngoti subdivision, who centered his message in context with the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ.
We are moving towards the Easter period. Jesus Christ came with charity. It is the reason why our main elite brother, Okie Johnson Doe, have decided to share the gift, the food items to the population in Ngoti.
To this administrator, reconciliation and forgiveness should be demonstrated this Easter for peace that pundits say left the northwest and southwest regions some 3 years ago.
On to one of our lead stories, the European Union Parliament has strongly condemned the gross human rights violations and abuses perpetrated by elements of the National Armed Forces and armed civilians in the northwest and southwest regions of the country. This is one of the 17 resolutions taken by the European Union Parliament on the current socio-political and security tensions in Cameroon. For me, Armstrong Sander has more.
Resolution of some members of the European Union Parliament on Cameroon pending deliberation is motivated by the deteriorating Anglophone crisis and the crisis emanating from the October 7, 2018 presidential election. The 9 members of the lone European Union Parliament urged the United Nations Security Council, the European Union and the African Union to discuss a solution to the crisis in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. Advancing 18 points, the members of the European Union Parliament painted a disturbing picture of the socio-political and security atmosphere in Cameroon, highlighting the Anglophone crisis, the Cameroon Renaissance Movement political party saga, and the activities of Boko Haram in the far north region, stating that Cameroon is experiencing a high degree of instability due to persistent crises. The European Union members of Parliament deplored the loss of lives during what they call demonstrations of the last months in Cameroon, condemn human rights violations in respective crises, and condemn what they qualify as crackdown on peaceful demonstrators by authorities in Cameroon. They demand armed separatist leaders to immediately direct their fighters and followers to halt human rights abuses and stop interfering with children's education. Urge governments to free all those they qualify as arrested solely on politically motivated charges like Maurice Kamto, and permit protests to go forward in Cameroon. They think governments should consider investigating and punishing police violence. Highly worried by the crisis in the Anglophone regions of Cameroon, the European Union parliamentarians condemn what they qualify as the use of force by security forces and separatists, and went further to call for an immediate ceasefire with a special focus on ending attacks on medical facilities and personnel. The members of the European Union also think that security forces in Cameroon should carry out their operations respecting international human rights laws, expressing their knowledge on initiatives carried out by civil society actors in Cameroon to end the Anglophone crisis. The European Union members of Parliament urge separatists and government to support the Anglophone General Conference project initiated by religious leaders. Regretting the absence of will from both parties in the Anglophone conflict to engage peace talks, the representatives of the European people called on the international community to help facilitate an inclusive national peace dialogue by offering a mediating role to end the crisis in the two English-speaking regions of Cameroon.
That is the situation as far as the concerns of the European Union Parliament is concerned, and the situation has continued deepening on the ground, and some persons who were kidnapped recently in the Mongo division in the littoral region of the country along the border with the crisis-hit southwest region of the country, allegedly by pro-independence fighters, have been set free. And we continue on to something else. The business of human bones trafficking is fast growing across the Republic of Cameroon. 6 human bones traffickers have been arrested by officers of the National Gendarmerie in Baturi in the east region of the country. 3 of them are Cameroonians and the others are Central Africans. They unearthed the bones in BT, 60 kilometers away from Baturi along the border with neighboring Central African Republic. The commander of the Baturi Gendarmerie Brigade says the 3 Central Africans are the leaders of the gang, while the Cameroonians are accomplices. Security forces are stepping up the fight against the illegal business in the east region of Cameroon. And security forces are equally stepping up the fight against the illegal business of human bones trafficking in the west region of the country. And recently, one of the human bones traffickers was arrested in Fumban. It is, of course, in the west region of the country. Details in this report. This bag contains 208 human bones. The alleged trafficker has fallen into the dragnet of the police. Fapon Alassa has been arrested in Fumban in the Nun Division, West region of Cameroon. He is said to have traveled from his native village, Masangam, to Yaoundé to sell the bones, but an informant of the police told him there was a buyer in Fumban. Upon his arrival in Fumban, he is arrested by the police. He came out of the bus with a bag, as our informant had told us. We intercepted him and took his bag immediately. He said it was not his bag. He came to give it to somebody else. After questioning, he decides to collaborate with the police. He said he is not alone and that he will take us to his accomplices in Masangam. This activity has been on the rise in the Noun division. Fwapong Alassa is in detention while investigations to track down his accomplices are well on course. The population of the Noun division has been urged to collaborate with the police in its effort to stop the illegal business. Academic activities have resumed in the Lay private nursery and primary school that was shut down as a result of problems linked to the non-payment of taxes. The school, of course, is in a Douala 5 municipality, and the pupils had not been going to school since the start of the third and last term of the current academic year. The school has been reopened. Sumanjik and Gebre reports.
They have finally regained their classrooms after being blocked for 48 hours. Pupils of this Lay private bilingual nursery and primary school in the Bonawande locality since Monday have been unable to gain access to the classrooms due to financial issues between the school proprietors and the landlords. The pupils, who are 2 days behind their normal schedule, began lectures after part of the money for taxes was paid. The inspector of basic education for Douala 5, who has also been on the case, explains.
Aussitôt que j'ai été informé de la fermeture de l'école,
Immediately I was informed about the situation at the school. I descended to the scene where I met parents and children. I tried to calm them down while promising to take it to the hierarchy for
j'ai
an
essayé
urgent solution.
de calmer ses parents en leur disant que j'allais porter la situation auprès de la hiérarchie qui certainement va trouver une solution très rapidement.
The private nursery and primary school, according to the inspector, had its authorization to operate. But many are asking the question how an authorization was given to a school that is not operating on its own piece of land but on a rented space, when the first law on the creation of any academic institution in the country states that the founder of the school must have a piece of land. Many schools in Douala, reports say, are functioning under the same condition, a situation that many stakeholders are calling on the Minister of Basic Education to act urgently before other cases resurfaces between the landlords and school owners.
Coming up, Immaculate Fogwe takes a look at the problem of scarcity of franc CFA coins across the Republic of Cameroon, especially in the big cities like Yaoundé and Douala. The coins have become very scarce, and this problem is a major hindrance to smooth financial and business transactions. Her report.
Markets in Cameroon are experiencing a scarcity of coins, which is complicating transactions for essential and low-cost goods.
can't leave the customer to go now. How are you going to this Cameroon?
The phenomenon, which has skyrocketed in the past 2 years till present, is making life extremely difficult for the retailers and their customers to carry out transactions.
Yes, we have so much problem because of coins. I'm selling things for 100 and 200. Somebody can come there, want something for 200. I cannot have 300 to give the person will just go. It makes me difficult to sell. I can stay in the market the whole day. I will not sell because of coins.
This other retailer explains.
We are facing so much difficulties for lack of cash, for coins, because sometimes, especially when I'm selling oil and snails, sometimes a customer will come and buy half liter of oil. I don't have change to give to that person. There is no coin. We are really suffering of problem of coins. And we don't even know where those coins are going to. But we know that as we are hearing that there is Chinois that are coming to take all those coins and go with them.
Okay, the difficulties I'm facing because of lack of coins, I used to lose many customers. And also, it's not easy because of coins, because you have customer who need something as from 800, you have to balance him 200. It's not easy. At times you have to buy coins in order to give change.
They are calling on government authorities to come up with lasting solutions that can remedy their plight.
So we are begging on the government to see where these coins are going, because in the past years we are not facing this type of problem. So now it is very bad, because it will make us not to sell, and this is how we live on what we are selling. So if we cannot sell, our standard of living will be affected. So we want the government to see onto this problem.
So we really need the government to help us to look for that situation, for problem of coins in this Cameroon, because it is really make us we cannot sell. We cannot sell. That is it, we cannot sell because of that problem of coins.
As they await on the government to come up with lasting solutions, they keep on souring with the situation of scarcity of coins.
Out of Cameroon, schools have remained closed in neighboring Gabon. The government of that country decided to shut down the schools last Thursday following a protest move orchestrated by students over changes in the award of scholarships. Government decided to award the 83,000 francs yearly scholarship only to university students of at least 19 years old who had at least 12 of average at the baccalaureate examinations. Before now, the scholarships were awarded to all candidates who succeeded in their baccalaureate examinations and were heading forward into the university educational ladder. And of course, the changes have provoked protests, mass protests in the country, which compelled the government to shut the schools, to shut down the schools, and schools have remained closed in Gabon. And now we're going to talk about the fight against the use of rape as a war weapon. And one of the remarkable world anti-rape crusaders is the Congolese-born surgeon Denis Mukwege, and of course known as Dr. Miracle. He won the 2018 Nobel Peace Prize for his remarkable work. Courtesy Euronews.
The Norwegian Nobel Committee has decided to award the Nobel Peace Prize for 2018 to Denis Mukwege.
Haven't heard of Denis Mukwege?
We thank you.
He's finally getting the recognition he deserves.
On the international stage, he's a rock star.
And at home in the Democratic Republic of Congo, he's known as Dr. Miracle for his selfless battle against Congo's epidemic of rape.
The region has been plagued by slavery and genocide since Belgium ruled in the 19th century. The 20th was no kinder, and the 21st century continued the tradition, with civil wars killing millions and rival militias raping millions more.
How can you be quiet and feel that you are really a human when you can't speak up for all these women who can't speak for themselves?
Dr. Miracle is a pioneering gynecologist and surgeon. He founded Pansy Hospital 20 years ago in 1999. Dr. Mukwege operates on thousands of women every year, carefully reconstructing their bodies and their minds after they have been brutally raped and abused.
You've treated tens of thousands of women here.
Yes. Now it's around 45,000 women treated in this facility.
45,000 victims of sexual assault.
The stories are barbaric and endless. This woman went to get water from a stream when two men grabbed her and dragged her into a house. They tied her up and raped her continuously for 2 days. Another survivor, Sandra, was raped by a neighbor.
It didn't just stop with the rape. You found out then you were sick.
Yeah.
She was later diagnosed with the HIV virus.
The Congo has been torn apart since a coup in 1997 triggered what's known as Africa's First World War. 7 neighboring countries intervened, and hundreds of armed groups, often using child soldiers, carried out atrocities. The carnage left more than 5 million dead and forced more than 4 million from their homes. The violence also gave birth to a rape epidemic. An estimated 350,000 women a year are sexually assaulted in Congo. So Pansy Hospital's 450 beds are constantly full. Even though the war officially ended in 2003, warlords and their ragtag militias still roam the country, killing and looting as they go. Violence here has always been about access to resources that were in demand somewhere else. Slaves, then ivory, rubber, gold, and now coltan, the rare mineral used in everything from mobile phones to pacemakers. The warlords, according to Mukwege, use rape as a weapon to drive away anyone who would dare to oppose them. Many of the victims come from areas where there happens to be gold.
Yes.
And other minerals.
Yes, exactly.
There's gold,
castrite, and coltan. Coltan is used in mobile telephone and laptops and in all the electronic gadgets.
So the more of these minerals are present, the more rape.
More rape. There is really a correlation.
And this is where we're going to wrap up this edition of the news on Equinox Television. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. Goodbye.